Welcome in to another episode of Profits Picks. We'll keep it going here. It is Wednesday. We have two games on the slate. We'll go in the order that they go off. We'll talk about a side and a total for both games, and we'll also bring up some player props that may be able to make some money on. So first game, we'll start with the Miami Heat taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Opening Bucks -4. Currently seeing Bucks -6. Total opening 221, and it has been slightly bet up to 221.5. Now, we'll talk about the move on the side first. Milwaukee, my personal opinion on them for the past couple of years, I thought that they'd be a great regular season team, but not really be so great in the playoffs. Until Giannis gets that jump shot, he's going to struggle. His team is going to struggle when they play these tougher teams, when they play these good coaches who can create that wall and limit Giannis. Now, with that said, Milwaukee is still one of the top teams in the league. They're coming off of a loss. And if they're not going to bring it tonight, when are they going to bring it? We saw versus Orlando, they lost the first game. I'm not comparing Miami to Orlando by any means, just talking about Milwaukee. They lost that first game. They came out in that second game focused from the jump. They played defense and they got out and ran and scored as much as they wanted. Here, I think they have that same level of focus. I think they come out and score just like we saw in the last game. They had 30 something points in the first quarter. I still, I trust Miami to do what they've been doing, but if you're not going to play the Bucks now, I don't know when you're going to play them. Off of a loss versus greater than 55% teams this season, 4-2 against the spread. Miami, I think they're a good matchup for this team. I just think Milwaukee brings an extreme effort, and I think that they can cover that 6 points. I also would probably like Milwaukee first half. You expect them to come out early, like I said. First half is shaded a little towards Milwaukee, minus the 3.5. I would look that way as well. It would only be Milwaukee for me. I can understand if you think Miami can stick around, but just my thought process is Milwaukee's a really good team. If they're going to bring it any game, I think they bring it here tonight. From a total perspective, both teams got out to a great start. They're both scoring, running up and down. Bucks kind of struggled later in the game, and I don't think we necessarily see that here in this game. Bucks off of a loss. The last 7 games, the over is 5-2. Average total 225.4, going over about 4.57 points per game. I think Giannis has a better game. I don't think he misses goes 4 for 12 from the free throw line again. I think he has an easier time scoring here. We'll see if we get Bledsoe in the lineup. If Bledsoe plays, it will help Milwaukee as far as on the side because he can defend Goran Dragic a lot better than, say, George Hill. And he also will help the pace. He'll be wanting to push in transition and get some of those easier baskets. I like Milwaukee to come in here and score a lot of points. And Miami, looking at them, they haven't had trouble really scoring points. It's been a matter of who they're playing against. If that team has some offense or if they're going to struggle, that's pretty much dictated the totals. And the games versus the Pacers struggle to score mightily. I don't think we see that here from Milwaukee. I think both teams can score. Milwaukee, they allow the most 3-point attempts per game. Miami's the second best 3-point shooting team. I think that we see more of that tonight. I think Miami also builds that wall on Giannis and forces others to shoot some threes. And I think that they go down here tonight. So for those reasons, I'm looking for an over. Looking also at Miami, when they have 1 day's rest, they're off of a win. Total between, it's less than 226 and greater than or equal to 218. It's went over 8 out of their last 10 games. The average total was 221.2, and it went over by 12 points per game. So I expect points to be scored here. And while I mentioned that stat, under that same scenario, the Heat are also 1-9 against the spread. They were a favorite on average by about half a point. They failed to cover by 4.9 points per game. I just think that this is a Milwaukee spot here, and I think that both teams have a easy time putting the ball in the basket. So I like this one to go up and over that 221.5. And if I'm playing the side too, I'm playing the Bucks. Probably like the Bucks first half a little more. Those are the two ways that I would look in this game. And if we're going to talk about the Bucks also one more time, they said that they were distracted by everything going on because it happened in their home state, etc., etc. I'm not gonna give them that excuse. They lost game one before they got quote unquote distracted. I just think that Miami came out, they were rested, they were ready, and they showed Milwaukee that. I think Milwaukee bounces back here. For player props, like I said, I think they built that wall against Giannis again, and I think some of these 3 pointers go down for these other guys. Looking at the 3 point totals, I think 1.5 for Wesley Matthews. I think he can get up and over that. If there's guys shooting threes out there, he can hit two of them. Other than that, I think that's at minus 125. Other than that, the only other guy I have to look at would be Chris Middleton. I'm checking, glancing here really quick. He hit 4 3 pointers last game. You can say he didn't have a good game last game because how it ended. But if you're asking guys to knock down 3 pointers, he's going to be one of the guys to do it. Matthews also hit 2 3 pointers, so he would have cashed as well. Those are the two guys that I would look at. Middleton over the 2.5 3 pointers and Wesley Matthews over 1.5. And we will keep it going. We'll go to the next game on the slate. That is going to be Game 7. OKC Thunder taking on the Houston Rockets. Opening, Rockets, -5. Currently seeing 5.5. Total opening, 221.5. And that has dropped almost 5 points. It's sitting at 217. Now, I understand the move on this total. Game sevens hitting over 60% to the under. You expect more defense. You expect it more so in the later rounds than the earlier rounds. But hey, we just saw Denver and Utah, teams that have been going over the total like crazy, play 154, I think, game total. So game sevens do mean something. Are these teams that tired? They've had a couple of games where they were lower scoring already. I just look at this and I think if OKC plays better when they play faster, in my opinion. Houston Rockets are going to shoot threes all game long. This is the lowest total, I think, all year that I've seen for Houston, sitting at 217. I think we have to take advantage of that. I know it's game 7. I know we've seen them play a couple of, I would call them dirty games, just meaning that not fun to watch, lower scoring. I think they can score some points here. I would be looking to play over that 217. And this total is what, almost 10 points lower than the previous totals that we were seeing. I think it's an over adjustment. I understand, but I do not agree. So I would lean towards over that 217. And if I'm playing a side here, this is one I feel, I feel really strong about the Houston Rockets team one way. And guys who've been following me for a long time know this. So, I don't think that they should be favorites by 5.5 points. I know that they're on paper the better team, but what have these guys done to show you that they should be 5.5 point favorites? Westbrook, he looked terrible last game. He's got to pick it up. He's looked terrible in his career in the playoffs. I don't remember him coming out of the first round. When's the last time Russ came out of the first round? He wasn't good on OKC in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular or better now. James Harden, where was he at last game? He didn't even want the ball at the end of the game. He's a guy who looks really great in the regular season. Playoffs, he can look good sometimes, but it seems like he just gets scared or doesn't show up for the moment in the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again. And I'm not a big fan of D'Antoni. I'm not going to put all the blame on D'Antoni. Granted, some of it can be, but D'Antoni's not a great coach. My point is, those two superstar players are not playoff performers. They've proven that before being around D'Antoni. They've proven it with him, or Westbrook is proving it with him. I don't trust any of those three guys. They're just not winners. Chris Paul, he's been the most clutch guy in the regular season. He showed that he was clutch in the last game. And if they're going to win this game, they're going to lean heavily on Chris Paul. I would trust him more than I trust James Harden, more than I trust Russell Westbrook. So I have to look towards OKC. Plus the 5.5 points. They know that they can hang with this group. They're not going to quit. Uh, the free throw differential has been huge. If OKC can continue, it's been a point of emphasis not to foul. If they can continue that, I like their chances a lot. Scott Foster is a referee here for whatever that means for you. In my opinion, he's hated Chris Paul. He's hated James Harden. They were on the same team previously, so that could be something. Maybe he just hates the Rockets. Not going to be a large part, or if anything, of my cap. I just like to get all of the information. In general, I do not trust this Houston Rockets team. They're going to have to prove it to me. OKC is not even a tough out. In my opinion, I liked OKC in the series mostly because I didn't trust Houston and I thought OKC could hang around. Here we are, game 7. I take OKC to keep it close. So for playing, we like the over. We like OKC plus the 5.5 points. And if we're going to look at player props, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I want to say OKC is the leading rebounding team in the playoffs. No coincidence. They're playing Houston Rockets, who do not have a center. Who is going to benefit? The same guy who's been benefiting all series long. Steven Adams. His rebound total has ticked up 1 full point. It was steadily at 10.5, but he had 11 last game by the 7-minute mark in the third quarter. 11.5 is not asking a lot. I think he can reach that, and it's at plus money, so that's my favorite prop in this game. And if I have to look at another one, is OKC going to lean on in the clutch? It has to be Chris Paul. He doesn't score a crazy amount, but in a game like this, you may lean on him more than usual. His point total is at 22.5. I would look at that one to go over. I like Adams more, though. So if you're going to take one or the other, I would take Adams. And that's the way we're going to rock here. Thank you guys for rocking with me on another episode of Profits Picks. Best of luck if you tail. Good luck on all of your action. We'll be back again here tomorrow and Friday. Let's keep it going. Later, guys.